Hey guys, this is going to be a screencast about setting up an image slider in WordPress. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, but one of the easiest ways that I've found is to use a custom post type and then just create a custom loop in one of your templates. So in this demo, I'm just going to use FlexSlider. FlexSlider is a jQuery plugin. It's a responsive image slider. If you go down a little bit, you can see in the demo that it is responsive. And then there's several different ways you can set it up. You can use it with thumbnails, or you can just use it kind of like a carousel. For this one, we're just going to use like the basic slider. It also gives you some of the JavaScript and HTML code that you need to use for it. I'm just using this blank theme, and I'll add that. Let me add this folder in Sublime Text real quick. So I'm just going to grab my theme folder and then drag that into Sublime Text, and then all the files for it are in here. So this is just using a blank theme right now. This home page is just blog posts, so that's the index.php file. If you were using a custom home page, you'd be using a template called frontpage.php. In this one, actually, we're going to just use the header for now, since that's where most of this code is going to go. Let's just grab the example from FlexSlider real quick. So I'm going to grab this HTML, and then in my header.php file, right below the navigation, I'll paste that in. It's not using the correct spaces, but oh well. We'll clean that up later. So for these, I'm going to replace it with some images from Lorem Pixel. Lorem Pixel just creates random images for you, so you can just put in a URL like lorempixel.com / then your image dimensions. So let's replace all of these. Then let's change this to 960 by, let's say, like 400. Save that. Then go back to our WordPress site and let's refresh. They're all going to be the same images right now, just because the same exact dimensions. If I change this one to, say, like 402, and then refresh, you can see that's going to create a different image for that one. But for now, this is fine. I'm just going to leave it. We're going to go back into FlexSlider, and then let's download the package. You can also get it from GitHub, but this is an easy way to grab it. So I'm going to go in here, extract that, and then open this up. All right, so if I go back into Sublime Text, and then on mine, it's Control-S. I think it might have been a custom key, but if you go into View and then Sidebar, there's this hide sidebar where you can open and close it. I have it set up as Control-S. But so under our JS folder, lib.js, we're going to copy these in here. And let's just grab the minified one, copy that, and then here, it's going to hit New File, then just type in your file name. And then paste in that file. So we got that one in there, and then we will need the CSS for now too. So open this one, copy that, and then in our CSS directory, let's create a new file called flexslider.css and save that. And then with the FlexSlider CSS too, if you want to just create your own styles, you can just copy it down to where it says the default theme. So just copy all these styles. That's what it needs to work. This is just the theme that it uses, like this outline over here and kind of the controls and stuff like that. So If you just want the basic functionality of it that makes it work with the JavaScript, just take it up from this point. All right, so let's close these for now. In the functions.php file, we can add in our CSS and JavaScript. There is a function already set up to add JavaScript in here. So basically what this does is it uses the WP and Q script. This is the preferred method to load scripts in WordPress just so they don't conflict. So let's say if you added a jQuery plugin and you just put the script tag straight in your header, and then another plugin used jQuery and they added it as well, it's going to load twice. So by adding the script through WP and Q script, it makes sure that it's only going to add it in once. And then it won't conflict with other plugins or any other custom code that's added in there. So for this one, let's just copy this WP register script one right here. And then this first argument is the name of, or like the identifier of the file. So we can just call this FlexSlider. The second one is the path to your file. Get template directory URI will get the path to your directory. And then from there, we'll just need the path to our JavaScript file. So ours is lib.js, and then what was it, jQuery.flexslider.min.js. The third one is any dependencies that the script needs. So since this is a jQuery plugin, we're just gonna say that it depends on jQuery. And then the next one is the version number. So this will help with caching. So I think, let's just look at this real quick. It's 2.1. So I'm just gonna put in 2.1 here. And then if I make any changes, or if the next version comes out, I can just put in 2.2 and then the cache will know that it's a new file. And the last one is either true or false. And what that means is, do you want it in the footer or not? True will make it so it is in the footer, and false is default. So if you're gonna add it in the header, you don't really need the last one. So we're just gonna keep that true for now. And then down here, we're gonna enqueue it. So same thing, just WP and Q script. And then the name of the script that you want to enqueue. All right, and then we're going to need to do the same thing for the style sheet. This one doesn't have styles set up yet, so I'm just going to copy this and then add it in here. It's basically the same thing. It uses this WP and Q scripts as well. So let's do that, and then let's just change the function name to styles. Change the function name down here to styles, and get rid of all this stuff. All right, and then this one, the only thing that's really different, it's WP register style instead. Same down here, WP and Q style. This one's the same. It takes the identifier name. Second one is the path to the file. So this one will be lib/CSS and then FlexSlider.css. And this one doesn't really have any dependencies, so we can just leave this as an empty array. We'll keep the same version number for this, and the last one on this one is actually the media type. So if you want like screen or print or anything like that, you can add that in there, but we're not going to use that. It's just going to default to all, which is fine. All right, so if we do that, hit save, we should have these scripts now loading on our page. So let's go back in here and refresh. If we bring up the inspector, let's see, if we go to resources and then go into scripts, you can see the FlexSlider.min is loading, and then also let's go to style sheets and you can see the FlexSlider.css is loading. All right, so now what we're going to need to do is grab the JavaScript to call it in on the page. So let's just grab this for now. In ours, we already have this global.js file loading. So in here, I can just paste it in here. So this selector is just the wrapper around the slides. So if we go back into header.php, you can see that it's wrapped in this div class FlexSlider. And then there's UL, the UL with the class of slides. And then we can add in more arguments, but for now I'm just gonna keep it like it is and save it. And then let's go back to the home page and refresh. All right, and now you can see that the basic FlexSlider is set up and working. You can see it's responsive, which is nice. All right, so to get this into WordPress and make it customizable and easy for the client to add images and stuff like that, we're gonna need to create a custom post type. And there are several different ways you can add custom post types. In your functions.php file, you can use the actual code. I think it's register post type. Let's see. Yeah, so you can look in the codex and kind of get the register post type information. Another easy way to do it is there's a theme, or this theme emergency generator. This gives you kind of an easy way to put in the name of your post type and all that kind of stuff, and it gives you all these different options. So you can go through here and it will spit out some PHP code for you that you can put in your functions file. And there's also a plugin. It's called Custom Post Types UI. I'm just going to use this one for now. It's pretty easy to add. Yeah, so once this one's activated, you can see that there's this new tab called Custom Post Types. We're just going to go in there and hit Add New. Our post type name will be, let's just name this Slides. Advanced options will just give you some more settings that you can customize. We're just going to use the basics. I'm just going to turn off some of this stuff down here. So all we really need for this is maybe a title. If you're going to add content, you can keep in the editor. If it's just going to be a pure image slider, you can get rid of that. So this one's just an image slider for now, so we're going to get rid of that. So all we really need is the title, the featured image, and then we're going to keep the page attributes for ordering them. All right, so let's just hit Create Custom Post Type. And then you can see over on the sidebar that there's a new post type called Slides. And then in here we can go to Add Slide, put in our slide title, and then this is the way that we're going to order them for now. So this will just be slide number 1, and then we're going to use featured images. So before we do that, let's go into the functions.php file, and there is a add theme support post thumbnails. So you're going to need this in your functions file first. This will add in this featured image box. If you don't have that in your functions file, it won't show up. All right, and then now that we have that in there, let's just add in, you can do add image size. And then what this takes is, the first one is the name of the image, or the name of the thumbnails that you're going to be creating. So let's just call this Slides for now. And then the second parameter is the width of the slide. So we're going to have this one as 960. And then it's the height. So I think it was 400. And the last one is whether or not you want to crop it. So we do want to crop the image so it stays at 960 by 400. So I'm going to set this to true. So now when you add a featured image, it will create an image that is 960 by 400 as well as the original thumbnails that are already set up. So since we have that in there, let's just go to set featured image now. All right, so let me find an image to upload. All right, so I'm just going to drag in one of these. Hit set featured image. and then publish this post. And then let's create another one. Let's call this one slide 2 for now. This is going to be the second slide. And then let's add another image. Let's drag that in there. Hit set featured image. Publish this one. And then let's just do one more. Third slide and set featured image. Oops. Oh, messed that one up. All right, so slide 3, orders 3, set featured image. This one, let's just drag that in there. All right, so now we have 3 slides set up. Let's just get rid of this one that I messed up. All right, so to create a loop for this, since it's its own post type, we're going to be using WP query. So in the codex, let me close out all of these real quick. All right, so basically WP query lets you create custom queries for WordPress. So what I'm going to do here is just create some arguments. So let's create an array of arguments. And then in here, what we want is we want it to query by post type. And the post type that we're querying by is called slides. And then if you go into the post type that you created, if you click on here, you can see in the URL that it says post type equals slides. So this is an easy way to see what your post type name is. And then another one that we want here, we're going to order it by, so order by, and then we're going to order it by the menu order. And what that does is it uses those parameters that we set. So this order right here, it's going to use that to order it instead of by date. All right, and the last one is we're going to use posts per page. And we want this to be -1, so that will be unlimited amount of posts. You can set it to whatever number you want, but -1 will just bring in all the posts that you have. All right, so once we have that set up, we can create the new WP query. So I'm just going to call it slides, and then say equals new WP query. And then that's going to take the arguments that we just set up. All right, and then for this part, it's basically like just creating a regular WordPress loop. So the if have post, while have post. So if have post, while have post, the post. And then we can end while and if. So we're going to take this new WP query and put it before the have post. So do that on the if, the while, and the post. And then in here, we can just treat it like a regular WordPress loop. All right, let me grab the code that we already have in there. So just copy that. Let's paste it in here for now. Let me close this sidebar so it gives a little more room. All right, so let's organize this now. Now we're gonna move, let's move this while part below the div in the UL. So move that up there, and then let's move the end while up here. move it down here. So basically what we want is to have the div and the UL after the if, and then whatever code we want repeated in between the while. Yeah. So we're gonna have the div class FlexSlider, UL class slides, and then in here, we're only gonna need one of these since it repeats. So let's remove that for now. So what we're gonna need to do in here is get the featured post image. So what we can do is we can actually get rid of this whole line. And then in here, we can just say PHP, the post thumbnail. And then we can also pass in the image name that we created. So we created a new image size called slides. So just put in slides here. All right, and let's save that. You can actually go back into here real quick and refresh. You can see the images that we added are now shown up in the slides. Since this is in the header.php file, it's going to show up on every page right now. So if I go to any one of these posts, it's still going to be in there. So what we want to do, we're going to grab all this code that we just created in the header file. Cut that, and then let's create a new file. Paste that in there. And then in the header.php file, we're going to say PHP if is front page. So that's going to be the front page of your site. If you're going to use it on like a blog template, you can also use is home if index.php is your home page template. But most of the time you're going to have a custom home page, so you can use if is front page. All right, and here we're going to use get template part. Basically like an include, but it's a custom function for WordPress. So in here, the first one is the beginning of your file name. So let's say it's called banner-home. So I'm going to say this one's banner. In the second parameter, we can put in home. So this is going to look for a file called banner-home.php. If you had it in a folder like let's say parts, you just put in the folder name / and then the beginning of the name. But let's just keep it like this for now. So since this is looking for banner-home.php, this new file, we're going to have to, actually let's go in here and then just hit new file, banner-home.php. Then grab all this code, put it in here and save it. And now let's go back to the home page, save that one. If I go back in here, let's reload it. It doesn't show up on this one because it's a post. So, and then back on the home page, it shows up again. So I think that's about it, guys. See you next time.